Welcome, everybody. You are listening to Rival Talk on MyPulseRadio.com. I'm Avery Merriman, joined by
Isaac Bassam.
And we got a good episode for you guys today. Isaac, what's our first segment for him today?
All right, I'm just going to go over some of these crazy college games and some controversial things that came from this, okay?
Okay.
So the first big games that happened was Vanderbilt, Texas.
Right.
Texas edged it out 34-31. What can we take away from this? We can take away that Texas is not a contender.
Right.
We can also take away that Vanderbilt is the real deal.
Vandy, I mean,
I don't want to admit it, but I don't want to admit it. I'm never going to admit that Diego Pavia is the Heisman. I'm never going to admit that. When he stands up there with the Heisman, I'm going to be like, should have been Jeremiah Smith. I will say anything but Diego Pavia because I think he's been in college for far too long. And to be quite honest, I'm just not a Diego Pavia guy.
really?
I think he just does it for the media. I think he's an attention seeker. Like the Theo Vaughn with his mom thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, dude, we get it.
I think I do agree with you on the point that, Pavia is like,
He's like a super senior.
he likes to talk a lot in the media. He likes the attention. I think he really does. And I think he says some outlandish things about his team. Like, he overhypes his team a lot.
First round of the playoffs, I think if Vanderbilt had to go up against any other, I think Georgia Tech would beat them.
Yeah.
I think Georgia Tech has what it takes because Haynes King is what Diego Pavia is, but he doesn't talk. Haynes King is a dog.
This is coming from a Clemson fan. We got beat by Georgia Tech.
Yes, you did.
There's been a couple years in the past we've got beaten by Georgia Tech too when we shouldn't have. And as a Clemson fan, I'm always gonna have a disdain for Georgia Tech.
Yes.
So coming from a biased Clemson fan, I truly and honestly don't believe that Georgia Tech will go anywhere far in the playoffs this year.
Oh,
I think 100% they make the playoffs. I think 100% that they're gonna, they might win the first round, but I don't see Georgia Tech doing much. I don't like Georgia Tech. I feel like this is a fluke season, like they have every once in a while, and I think the next year they're gonna get right back on track to being, middle of the pack.
ACC bottom feeder.
Yeah.
And something mentioning Georgia Tech, they lost in an upset to unranked NC State, 48-36.
Yep. I'm saying.
So definitely some defensive issues right there, because 48 points is unacceptable on a number of levels. But something else that happened. I'm going to start on the topic of South Carolina football. South Carolina lost to Ole Miss, number 7 Ole Miss, 14-30. I expected it to be 30-0, so I'm glad we scored.
Yeah.
After this game, Mike Shula was promptly fired.
As he should have been.
You know the Kanye song where it's everything that I am, praise the Lord?
Yeah.
When I saw that post,
That's immediately what you thought of?
my soul was lifted on a number of levels that my mental clarity, the day just became infinitely better. And after that, the day just got better. The day just got better. But something else to consider about the rankings, Virginia is at number 12. After beating California 31-21, they are knocking on the door. Teams that should not be knocking on the door are knocking on the door, especially considering in a heartbreaker for Tennessee as they lose to Oklahoma 33-27. Oklahoma's the real deal.
As much as, I hate it, I'm going to have to agree with you.
I don't like Oklahoma either. I think their fans are kind of scummy, and I think that the whole Red River rivalry thing is kind of crap because Baker Mayfield just kind of killed it. But
yeah. Red River rivalry isn't really it's what it was before.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get off topic here for a second.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna bring up the point. You were talking about Mike Shula getting fired.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of coach firings.
There has been
a lot of very
big names.
Brian Kelly,
A
lot of people that some people that a lot of people think shouldn't have been fired.
Who do you think shouldn't have been fired?
I personally I don't agree with these people, but some people think that James Franklin should have stayed, should have not been fired.
No. I see where they're coming from.
I hear a lot of people say that because, and James Franklin and Mike Gundy, kind of like two of the same situations.
I got you.
They're, they brought their teams, when they came to the program, they made their teams better. They did. They made their teams better. They made their teams good when they weren't. But they never brought their teams past that point. You know, it's one thing when you you get brought on to coach a football program at a big level school that hasn't been doing well recently.
Mm-hmm.
And you make them play well. And you have a really good few seasons. But when that's your ceiling, when that's all you can get to as a head coach,
It's unacceptable.
It's unacceptable. And that's how a lot of these guys are. Mike Gundy, obviously famous for his I'm a man, I'm 40 speech, back in the day.
So legendary.
He's a legendary coach, and he's had a lot of. He made that program great.
Dude,
Oklahoma State a great program for a while.
Yeah.
But the main point I was going to bring up is NIL has changed everything. When I first heard when the news all came out and NIL was first being introduced, I thought it was going to be a great thing for the players.
Yeah.
Because the players deserve to get paid. They really do deserve to get paid. They need their money. To the extent that they're getting paid right now is probably a little much.
I'd say we don't need. I didn't like NIL coming in because I knew these guys were getting paid under the table, but it was like the worst kept secret. It was kind of an understood process. Reggie Bush only got kicked out. They only took his Heisman out because he won the Heisman. He was the top dog getting paid under the table. They're not going to care about old Jimmy Buffett at Oklahoma State getting $500,000 under the table. You know what I mean? I'm just using it as an example. Right, you know what I mean? They're not going to care about that. But that was USC. That was Reggie Bush. Yeah. He was the biggest name. And for that to come out was extremely detrimental. But I saw a clip. It was like when Shador was in his last season. And his offensive line had been better, had been improved. He had this freshman, this true freshman who was a really great offensive lineman. That freshman was driving a Maybach.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, what are we doing?
All the chains. And,
all the chains. All that gold and all that jewelry just to get sacked 3 times a game. Yeah. Good job, Shador.
But, what the main point I was going to get at was it changed everything for the players, for the good or for the worse.
For better or for worse.
For better or for worse. But it changed way more than that, too.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of points being brought up where teams that weren't very good, rich schools that had a lot of money, just didn't have the talent.
Yeah.
In today's game, it used to be players wanted to go to the school that they could win at the most or had the best coach or
Alabama.
had the best talent, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's all about
that
who's
moolah.
paying.
Yeah.
Who's paying the most. And what makes it makes it really, 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 really hard to be a head coach in today's game.
Yeah.
All of these guys, it suddenly turned into a thing where it was win now or else you get fired.
Yeah.
I'm directly quoting that from Kirk Herbstreit. I saw a video of him on a podcast. Brought up the exact same point. Coaches now are under so much pressure because of NIL.
Yeah.
NIL brought that pressure on them. And it really just, I feel like it's good as far as competition being spread around more, because in the years before NIL, it was all you knew who you were probably going to see in the college football playoff.
It was 4 or 5. It was 6 schools that were these are bona fide contenders. These
bona
are going to be
fide contenders every year just because of how good they were. But now, I think one good thing that NIL did do was spread that competition around. It made every team competitive. It made any team, there's still a factor of rich and not rich.
Yeah, there still is. Oh, yeah.
But it made the competition spread around more. And I feel like that was one good thing that came out of NIL. If it was the only good thing, But I think it was a great point made by Kirk. I feel like I had to bring it up.
No, something else that Something else that helped that was the expanded 12-team playoff.
Yes.
I liked that idea because seeing the same 4 teams, seeing Georgia, Ohio State, Clemson, and some random, happy-go-lucky team like, say, Washington that one year
Yeah.
was pretty boring for the
Yeah.
most part. And now we have this 12-team playoff, and now it's like we can actually see, because people are always going to point to when, FSU got snubbed because Jordan Travis got hurt.
Yes.
We're not going to see that anymore.
Still heartbroken over that, by the way.
That's oh gosh, bro. That's one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever seen.
Being the son of a Florida State fan, that was a hard
Hard pill to swallow.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw that. I saw that Bama got in over that, and I was like, they're gonna get killed.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it was such a shame, dude. Especially like Jordan Travis, a Heisman contender, was playing like
He's playing out of his mind.
out of his mind, willing and bringing his team along just to get snubbed. Broke his freaking leg.
And it killed the
Destroyed
FSU
his
program.
leg.
Yes.
It was
Career
they
ending.
They cursed FSU.
Yes.
The AP poll cursed FSU from that point on.
Because after that, we're down and out. Then we got back, and now it's like we actually need coaching. We don't need talent. We need
Yeah.
coaching, and that's why Mark Norville got fired, which was good.
Yeah.
But something to talk about, just to bring up some rivalry. We talked about South Carolina. Let's mention the Clemson Tigers. Regardless of a bad call or not, let's swipe out the touchdown because of the bad call. Let's swipe that out, okay? That's still 38 points allowed to the Duke Blue Devils in Death Valley.
Our program is collapsing. It is.
Is the facade finally coming undone? Because
This season has brought so much pain, so much. It's really brought things to light that we didn't see before.
now I know what it feels like to be a Carolina fan. When teams that you should beat you.
I think we're entering our South Carolina era right
Gosh, everybody's going to beat you by
now.
20.
It sucks. It really sucks.
Yeah,
I
get used to it, buddy.
have aspirations to go to USC. Not because of hate the program, hate the football program, terrible, but just purely because of what I want to do after school.
So we're just going to disrespect Shane Beamer.
I'm scared. Yes, we are.
Okay, that's okay. But I'll bring that up later. That's
Yeah.
that's not going to happen. We're not going to disrespect Beamer ball.
I'm scared as a Clemson fan that I'm gonna be pulled towards the other side.
Because
I'm gonna be in enemy territory. Our team is just gonna keep losing. I bleed orange. Clemson Tiger orange.
well, you're bleeding a lot right now, so
And we are bleeding a lot. We're losing a lot of our blood here.
we're losing it.
We
We need to stem the
bleeding
bleeding.
out on the field right now.
It needs the
Hey, but basketball
basketball's up.
beat New Hampshire something. I don't even know what the team was. Nobody team, but we beat them by 50.
Well,
Are
that's
we
good.
serious?
So we're a basketball school now.
Yeah, I think we might be because, dude,
Buddy hit the reverse of the North Carolina.
it's so weird because both of my favorite teams, I had, Indiana Hoosiers.
Who are number 2?
Basketball
Congratulations. They're number 2 in football.
in the nation. But we were known as a basketball school. We are known as a basketball school. We're known as a basketball state. Indiana is a basketball state. The
Not this year.
Hoosiers movie, based out of Indiana. All these great basketball movies, based out of Indiana. Indiana is Larry freaking Bird's from
Larry Bird.
Indiana.
Mhm.
Coached the Pacers for a while. We have legends coming out of Indiana. We are turning into a football school.
Football state.
Football state.
Because the Colts are back.
The Colts are back.
And we're going to talk
Daniel
about
Jones,
that
Danny Dimes,
Danny Dimes.
of all people. Danny freaking Dimes. But it's weird. It's a weird feeling being a fan of the Indiana Hoosiers, watching us. Hopefully we play well in basketball this year. We have Alabama A&M, I think, terrible school. We're going to beat them by like 35 million points.
A&M.
Alabama A&M.
I don't know. Bama looked all right. Bama looked all right last year.
Alabama A&M?
I said not Alabama. Oh, I thought you said Alabama and A&M.
No,
Mentioned in Texas. It's Alabama
it's
A&M.
Alabama A&M, the school. Yeah.
They're gonna get beat by
Our
50.
first game at 8:00 tonight. Gonna be watching that with my father.
Ooh.
Yup.
Some father-son bonding time.
Father-son bonding time, watching the Indiana Hoosiers put some BTA. You know what I'm saying?
And some belt. Take that belt off.
Whip
Dude.
them with it.
But
It's a weird feeling seeing your school swap their good sports.
we talked about NIL and how much of an impact that's made on coaches. It's made a really big impact. The biggest impact it's made is in the recruiting field. Because it's not just players that are transferring. It's now we can offer you a full scholarship and $2 million on the side.
Yeah.
$2 million per year. You stay at us for 4 years, you make $8 million, which is more than a lot of these rookie contracts that are coming into the NFL.
Yeah.
Now they're getting inflated. They're getting inflated because all these players from NIL are getting paid, and they want to get paid like their NIL deal, not like an actual rookie deal, which is causing problems. Shamar Stewart, we can talk about that later. But like, it used to be back in the day, you'd bring them to your lake house, you'd squeeze your neck, you'd tell them how great of a coach you are, show them the program, show them your trophies, and they'd be like, you know what? I want to go to this school. Now it's, okay, so here are the best clubs, here's your money, go have fun for a day. Come
Yeah.
back in one piece, specifically one piece, because I'm not supposed to be doing this,
Yep.
but come back in one piece, tell me how you liked it, and sign the paper.
Yeah.
That's what it's become, which is you can't just be an elite recruiter anymore. You can't just be an elite coach. Sorry, elite coach. You have to be an elite recruiter now. You got to have some Ryan Day, because Ryan Day, he's mastered it.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
Somehow, he's an idiot, but I'm a Ryan Day hater. Don't like Ryan Day. Never have, never will.
He did find Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah, I mean, he finds good talent, but
He is wide.
he's an idiot on the field.
He is.
He's not a great coach.
Is he more of an? Is he?
You
He's more of a
gotta
recruiter.
He's more of a recruiter. He's an okay coach.
He's
I'll
an
give him
okay
that.
coach.
He's an okay coach.
You have to be-
He does well to get by.
You have to be okay to get to a national championship, but he's got a lot of good people on his staff. I think.
Does.
Got a lot of people on there. I think we're going to go to commercial break. When we come back, we're going to do some BS meter talk about these NFL trade deadline that just happened yesterday. Coming up next on Rival Talk Sports Radio.
And we're back. Once again, you are listening to Rival Talk on mypulseradio.com. You can watch us on the YouTube channel, WPPB The Pulse, or listen on the mypulseradio.com or the TuneIn app. I'm Avery Merriman, joined by,
Isaac Bassam.
and we've got a little segment for you today called the BS Meter.
The BS meter. We're going to be testing. There are some reports, there are some rumors, and I'm going to bring in them. And me and Avery are going to be investigating how much BS is in these. So first of all, one of the first reports that I have about my glorious Buffalo Bills is that we were quote-unquote aggressive at the trade deadline and that a trade for, of all people, Calvin Ridley was in the works for wide receiver.
Really?
It's a report. Yep, we were apparently aggressive, but Brandon Beane is known for gatekeeping in trades. I mean, he's great at fleecing other teams, don't get me wrong. But when it comes to directly trading for somebody, he is very, very guarding over his picks. He does not like to take big risks. But there's another report about the Titans as well. They were, quote-unquote, unwilling to deal with the Patriots at the NFL trade deadline.
Really?
The Titans were making moves. Because, let's be honest here, Brian Callahan is probably out after this season, if
Yeah.
they're smart. Cam Ward is good. Elik Aomanor, Stanford wide receiver. I love him. I think he's going to be good with Calvin Ridley mentoring him. Running back room with Tony Pollard, it's not a forever thing, but it will get the job done for now.
Pollard's the guy. He's
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
He's a solid, top 20 guy.
Yeah.
But the BS meter we're talking about here is, were the Bills actually that aggressive at the trade deadline? Because a top target, Jacoby Myers, went to the Jaguars for a 4th and a 7th.
Yeah.
How are we feeling about that on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being, one being nah, it's completely wrong. 10 being that's actually true. How much, or 10 being that's absolutely wrong, 1 being that's true. You know what I mean? How are we feeling on a scale of 1 to 10?
We're saying how aggressive the Bills were.
Yeah, how aggressive do you think the Bills were on a scale of 1 to 10? And that'll.
I
how
think that's
aggressive?
pretty high on the BS meter on them being aggressive.
You think it's pretty high?
I think it's pretty high because you being a Bills fan, tell me what you think you need. Is receiver what you think you need? Do you think you need receiver, or do you need to make some adjustments on the defensive side of the ball?
No, actually, the defense actually locked in. Maxwell Hairston came back, and Maxwell Hairston's a star. Cole Bishop. If you're listening to this, Cole Bishop, I'm going to be signing my apology form very soon because I was wrong about you. I was coming into this year saying if this guy's starting at free safety next to Taylor Rapp, we are going to get burnt over the top. I was wrong. I apologize in advance. Please forgive me if you can, and please keep doing what you're doing. You're amazing on the field. But, no, the defense was good. Joey Bosa is getting pressure, so we don't need another edge right now, at least for now. He's not there forever. He's on a 1-year deal. But defensive back looks fine because Deron Johnson moved back to his position in the slot. He's a little nickel guy. Great nickel cornerback. Love him. He's got great run defense. But Brandon Beane is genuinely speaking, he was aggressive at getting Josh Allen in the draft, but that's the draft. It's not the trade deadline.
Right.
He's not a big trade deadline kind of guy. But actually, wait a second. I'm actually wrong because he has been aggressive before. You remember when he got Amari Cooper?
Oh.
This is
true.
So this might change us because he has shown aggressiveness at the trade deadline, getting Amari Cooper in the past. But was there anybody on the market that would have been a good scheme fit? Maybe it's about scheme because we know what Joe Brady likes to do.
Yeah.
And the coaching staff loves Keon Coleman, and I think they really want to develop him, get him into a big target. Khalil Shakir, very solid wide receiver. Maybe they're just waiting for Josh Palmer to come back from injury because he's been injured for a minute. He's banged up, and he's been really good at what he does at wide receiver 2/3. And Kincaid has broken out in the passing game.
Yes.
So I think the Bills were looking for a cheap option, like a Jacoby Myers kind of guy.
Yeah.
But the Jaguars just came in with a little bit better of offer. But I think the BS might have been pretty high on like an A.J. Brown because there were rumors going around hours before the trade deadline that we were the top target for Brian Thomas. And I really don't believe that. I don't think Brandon Beane would go out and spend a first-round pick on him.
Yeah.
Especially when we could pick somebody else and it become better. But that's a long-term developmental plan and not win now. It's kind of like a Warriors thing.
Yeah.
So I think there's a little bit of BS, maybe like a 7, that the Bills were aggressive, quote-unquote aggressive. But I think the Calvin Ridley report is true. I think I'll take that report for the truth. Something else going around. This is a report. The Jets, they had a fire sale yesterday. They traded away Sauce Gardner for 2 first-round picks, and they got 2 first-round picks and Adonai Mitchell.
What do we think about that trade, dude?
That is an A-plus return for a guy like that.
Yeah.
And to get Adonai Mitchell to pair with Garrett Wilson, who they have had problems at wide receiver 2 for a minute now. For the Colts, it doesn't. It makes sense because he's good, and Kenny Moore and Travarius Ward are getting old.
Yeah.
So to get a young guy next to them would be really good. To have him mentor Travarius Ward, former Super Bowl winner, Kenny Moore, Pro Bowl, All-Pro cornerback. So great guys to get mentored by. But it does look like the Colts are going all in.
Yeah.
How high on the BS
I
meter is that? The Colts are all in this year.
think it's pretty low. I think I completely agree with you. The Colts,
They're stacking.
they're stacking. They're
Losing Adonai Mitchell sucks, though.
I want to kind of say they're pulling a Rams,
Building the super team.
building the super team for this 1 year because they see the potential. They see the return being a Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, that's worth anything. I mean, what's it called? The Rams said, frick the picks, F the picks.
Yeah.
They got Von Miller and Jalen Ramsey and a few other guys. They had Sony Michel on that roster. Very
Yeah.
interesting. They had the blockbuster trade
Yeah,
for Matthew
for
Stafford,
Matthew
which
Stafford.
broke the internet.
Was crazy.
And then of course Cooper Kupp had one of the best receiving seasons ever.
Yeah, that
But
helps.
The Colts, they have the offensive pieces. They have Jonathan Taylor, who is entering a second prime. He's doing amazing right now. Mm-hmm. It's like three touchdown games or 4 3-touchdown games right now.
I swear, Jonathan Taylor just does this randomly, like every 2 years.
Every 2 years, yeah, I'm the best running back in the league.
Yeah.
And then I'm
You just got to remind people.
Just gotta
you know,
remind
I'm
people.
here. I'm Jonathan Taylor. You know, I'm going to be really good.
But I think it's pretty low on the BS meter that the Colts are all in. They are very much all in this year.
Yeah.
Now, the Cowboys, very interesting trade deadline. They go out and they trade for Logan Wilson, who is a serviceable linebacker.
Yeah.
Now, trading for a Bengals defensive player during this year is quite interesting.
Interesting.
That's an interesting
To say
move,
the
Jerry.
least.
But more interesting is Quinnen Williams is now a Dallas Cowboy after sending a first, a second, and Mozzie Smith. Pretty high return for Quinnen Williams,
Yeah.
who there was a report going out that their asking price was a second-round pick. How high is that on the BS meter? Were they lowballing it? And when he actually got on the call, they were like, "Yeah, that's actually a first."
I think they were lowballing a little bit.
There's no way Quinnen Williams. I mean, he's at his best, he's a top 5 defensive tackle.
Quinnen Williams is pretty freaking good.
Dude, he's amazing, bro.
Like, I saw a video the other day.
Oh,
It was like a kid who was a Jets fan.
yeah.
He was like he was crying, like sobbing, crying that Sauce Gardner, his favorite player,
Have been
favorite
traded.
player on the Jets, had been traded.
I seen that video.
alongside his second favorite player, Quinnen Williams,
Gosh.
and he was like sobbing, crying.
I mean, if the Bills ever traded, the only person I can equate to that value would be, Josh Allen.
Yeah,
Like, if that ever happens, if Josh Allen's ever in another uniform, I'm going to cry. Whether by trade or free agency, I'm going to cry. He is a Bill for life. And
Rightfully
we thought
so.
Sauce and Quinnen were Jets for life. But it's time for the fire sale. Now, something else. This is not any other report. I've heard this. They've been talking about it. It's been floated around. With all the capital the Jets have, we've been talking about the Jets. This is the last thing I got for the Jets. They have enough to go out and get pretty much any quarterback outside the top 6. How high on the BS meter is that? Are they stacking to go get a quarterback? Or do you really think they're going to draft and try to build this team from the ground up for Aaron Glenn? Because I don't think they're going to fire Aaron Glenn. If they do, in the mid-season at least, I think they might fire him after the season. But if they fire him mid-season, it'd be a little shocking to me. But how high on the BS meter is they actually go out and they get a quarterback? Because they've had quarterback problems for a while now, and Justin Fields is definitely not the guy. We have established that.
I think that it would be really dumb for them to try to go out and get a quarterback right now.
Right now?
I think drafting is the smart move, but
In the long term?
they need to learn their lesson on taking a guy like Zach Wilson. We need,
that regime is not in place anymore. That
it's-
regime is not in place anymore.
like the Jets need to be insanely smart. They need to be really, really careful. I think the smart move is to draft, but if they do, I think they need to be really, really, really smart with what they take. And
Right.
I think they need to take the safe moves, build your team up. You're not going to be good the next few
Definitely not.
years. You're not going to be good at all.
They have a decent offensive line. They actually have a.
They have a good offensive line, and
They actually
that'll
have a
set
decent
them
offensive
up.
line, which will set them up for the rookie that they draft. Hopefully,
I think they take like a proven NFL ready QB.
Fernando Mendoza or Diego Pavia. Those are the two names that came to my mind. Because
I say Mendoza.
I'd say Mendoza too. I think he fit the scheme more.
Mendoza's So I think you take us proven, most likely to be NFL ready guy like Mendoza. I think you keep building, maybe sign a few free agents.
Yeah, definitely pull in on the young guys. Don't go out and get the big
Stack
ticket
your
names.
draft picks.
Stack the draft picks.
Like you've been doing. Like that trade was
insane.
A+ return for the Jets, like you said.
They got 2 A+ returns for the Jets.
Yeah. So I think the smart move is to do that. So I'm going to put them going after a quarterback now pretty high on the BS meter.
Like an 8 or a 9.
8 or 9.
Like unless somebody unless, and God forbid this happens, but unless like a report comes out that the Texans are just clearing house and they're, when it said the Jaguars were listening to calls for Brian Thomas, imagine if that was said for like C.J. Stroud. Like imagine if they were listening to calls for him.
Yeah.
Or imagine if like, the Commanders were listening to calls for Jaden Daniels. You know what I mean? It'd be crazy.
Wild.
But would be wild because that'd be a crazy return you'd get. That's at least 3 first-round picks for a good quarterback. Mm-hmm. But another report that I've been seeing is not about the trade deadline, but it's about the offseason. Jacoby Brissett, just a little background, Jacoby Brissett has been doing very good in his Cardinal starts, doing better than Kyler. And it does look like Jonathan Gannon, their head coach, is going to be rolling with him for the next few weeks. He's going to be the starter. He gives them the best chance to win, which is understandable. You got to put the guy that's going to give you the best chance to win. There are reports coming out that the Kyler Murray sweepstakes are very real this offseason. Like this, they're not going to trade. They weren't going to trade him at the deadline just to keep that backup. You know what I mean? Just have him hold the clipboard, put a headset on. But there are heavy reports that there is going to be a Kyler Murray sweepstakes at the offseason. Now they don't know which teams are going to go get him. The Jets have been flaunted around because it's the Jets. They need a quarterback. It's going to be forever. You're forever going to see a quarterback getting traded in a Jets jersey on Instagram because that's just how it is.
That's how it is.
But how high is it on the BS meter that Kyler Murray is open? They're open for calls for Kyler in the offseason. After the season's over?
I think it's low. Low on the BS meter.
You think that's very real?
I think it's a real thing.
Who do they draft, though? Because if they're a playoff contender, their draft pick is going to be pretty bad. Do you think they trade up and get a guy?
I think...
Like a Dante Moore or something?
I think so.
I
think it's time for the Cardinals to let him go.
Yeah, because I mean it's not been an experiment, but it's been a process.
It's been an up and down roller coaster.
It's been a roller coaster for sure.
It's a shame because I actually liked Kyler Murray when he first coming into the league. He looked great.
Oklahoma after Josh Rosen, I was like, just get Kyler and just build your franchise off of that. And
he looked like he was going to be a superstar,
especially when they got DeAndre Hopkins for nothing.
Yeah,
when they got DeAndre, him and
that was
Madden 22. When they both had X factors, roll out to my left, throw it to DeAndre every time I catch.
One of the probably the greatest catch of all time. That Hail Mary on 3 guys. That's DeAndre Hopkins.
That was against my Buffalo Bills. Shut
up.
That picture is always sent to me in my group chats. They're like, it's like, look at this. And I'm like, shut up. It happened in 2020. There was nobody in the stands.
Yeah.
But I think another pretty hotly contested players, the Dolphins, they shipped Jalen Phillips off, and there were reports that there was a fire sale. How high on the BS meter do you think was Minkah Fitzpatrick, the guy they just traded for? They swapped Jalen Ramsey for Minkah. And there were trade rumors that that teams would be able to kind of pick and choose from the Dolphins, but not a lot of that happened. Is it because these guys aren't valuable enough, or because the Dolphins were overpricing these guys?
I think knowing the Dolphins, knowing who they are,
because Chris Greer was let go.
Yeah, I think it was more overvaluing by the Dolphins. I think they were trying to ask too much for their guys. When the Dolphins,
they don't have a lot.
They don't have a lot. I think seeing who the Dolphins are, I feel like they might have been trying to save the season a little bit.
Yeah.
Try and get some good value out of these guys.
Tua is also another. There's a report about Tua I'll talk about after you say this.
Okay. I think the Dolphins probably were just trying to get too much
because they got
from what they
a
have.
Third for Jalen Phillips. And I mean, he's had 2 season-ending injuries. A third for him is pretty good value.
Pretty freaking good. But go ahead and bring up your point.
So, like I said about Kyler, it's going to be an offseason thing. But for Tua, there are reports coming out that they are, because they fired Chris Greer, they're not
Right.
going to fire Mike McDaniel because it's smart. They're going to take their draft pick. They want to not have this interim guy rattle off 4 or 5 wins and get the team motivated. They got to tank. They got to get a good They got to get a good position. Get a good position in the draft. But there are rumors going about that, you know what the Broncos did with Russell Wilson when they took all the dead money? Mm-hmm. There are reports coming out they'll do that for Tua, too. They're done. They're kind of just done with Tua.
I would be too.
So you think that's pretty low on the BS meter?
I think it's low. I think it's very realistic because it's just Tua, man.
It's
Like,
Tua. That's embarrassing. It's just Tua.
I, surprisingly being a Clemson fan, didn't really hate Tua all that much. Because I think I only liked him because Tua didn't really talk that much crap. Tua
Yeah,
was just kind of humble, and
he was some Hawaiian guy. He was a humble Hawaiian guy.
the interviews and the post game stuff that he's been chatting, running his mouth off about. It's like every time he gets up on the mic, it's the team's fault. It's not his fault.
Yeah,
It's not his fault at all. It's the team's fault. McDaniel's gonna get fired.
I mean McDaniel should be fired.
He should be fired right now.
No. Keep him for the season. Let him tank the team so that way the draft
Get a
pick
good
goes
draft
up.
pick.
Don't let some interim guy rattle off 4 or 5 wins like Antonio Pierce did in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to be a good NFL head coach. He's just going to be a good motivator. You know what I mean?
The Dolphins have so much potential to be a great team, bro.
They have Waddle still.
They have Waddle. They have A-Chain. They have
Jalen Wright. A lot of my Dolphins friends are talking about Jalen Wright. They're talking about Jalen Wright like
Jalen
he's
Wright.
good. They still have Ollie Gordon as well. They have a
Ollie
really
Gordon.
They have a
I forgot
really
about
young
Ollie Gordon.
They have a really young running back room right now.
They are so set up for the future.
And they have Jordan Brooks. Jordan Brooks is currently leading the league in tackles right now, I believe.
I say the Dolphins. What if they try and go out? What if they try and go out and get Kyler Murray? What if you try and go sign Kyler Murray in the offseason?
Can they take his contract though? Because if they they're gonna have to cut Tua.
That's the question.
That's gonna be some cap gymnastics.
Yeah.
They have to pull off some Saints dark trickery to get that cap to work. For people that know, the Saints are great at cap gymnastics.
Yeah.
It's not even cap gymnastics. It's cap mission impossible
Yeah.
at this rate. Because what they've done is a crime. But the BS meter is very low. I think they will cut Tua because they're going to have a new regime. They've already fired Chris Greer.
Yeah.
They let him go because Chris Greer got a monster return. Monster return for that number 3 pick that turned into Trey Lance. And what did he do? Jack. Nothing.
Nothing. Didn't do anything.
A single thing. Now, another report that's coming out that I've seen, kind of like, I'll do like 2 more, but apparently the Jets were having such a big fire sale that other AFC East teams reached out to them, inquiring about names such as Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, and the prices they had set specifically for Breece Hall and Jermaine Johnson, another guy. They had set the price as a second for Jermaine Johnson and a third for Breece Hall.
A third for Breece Hall?
I mean, I think a fourth is more reasonable because there is a report the Chiefs went out and got him. I believe that one fully. Because the Chiefs have already, there's a rumor going about, another quick BS meter thing. They went out and they tried to get Alvin Kamara. But Alvin Kamara said, no, I'm going to live and die a saint. I'm not going to turn to the dark side.
Good on you, Kamara.
Which, good on you, Alvin
Good
Kamara.
on you.
You know, he's never had 1,000 rushing yards, but he always ends up with 1,000 all-purpose yards. Fun fact.
Really?
He's that good of a receiving back.
I did not know that, actually.
Yeah.
That's surprising. He's never had an 1,000-yard rushing season?
No, he always has
I know he has a lot of touchdowns.
he does get a lot of touchdowns.
A
He's a
lot of
touchdown
rushing
merchant.
touchdowns. But, dang, I did not know that.
But other AFC East teams were reaching out to inquire about the availability of these guys.
I feel like Breece Hall.
I believe
Honestly, I feel like a third round pick is maybe his value.
that's a max though. I mean,
I think
you got to use him right. He's a very scheme dependent guy.
now Garrett Wilson being traded, I would have been a fan of because he is wasting his career away in New York or New Jersey, technically.
East Rutherford, New Jersey, folks. That is where careers going to die, and that
Yep.
is where Garrett Wilson will soon die.
It is a complete and utter shame. It's disgusting.
He's like imagine JSN, but dial it down just a hair. Literally just a hair. You put him with a quarterback that can find a second read, i.e. somebody not named Justin Fields. If you put him on the 49ers, he would have 1,500 receiving yards because Mac Jones would deliver him the ball. He is a fluid route runner.
You know what would be
twitchy.
cool? It would be cool to see somebody like Garrett Wilson on like the Patriots.
I think the Patriots might have reached out for him.
They seeing that would have done wonders for the Patriots organization because that receiving duo of Stephon Diggs and Garrett Wilson
And having one of the best route runners of all time to mentor you.
yes, and having a pretty decent quarterback in Drake May.
Yeah.
Like
Drake May's entered top 15, top 10 conversations at best.
he's playing really good.
Because Mike Vrabel's a good coach.
Vrabel is great.
Vrabel knows,
Vrabel.
Vrabel knows what to do, except with Tre'Davion Henderson, but that's a whole nother topic. We'll get that on in the next episode. We'll talk about how Tre'Davion Henderson is being underused by Mike Vrabel and why it's such a crime, i.e. we're doing it for the fantasy points.
Yeah.
But they were having such a fire sale that I think the Bills might have inquired about Garrett Wilson because if they were quote unquote aggressive at the deadline for receivers, and there's reports coming out they were going for as far as Chris Olave and as far as Calvin Ridley because those were Chris Olave was the big target.
Yeah.
Because I think it was pretty obvious that Brandon Beane was not going to trade a first round pick for AJ Brown. That wasn't going to happen. But the reports coming out that they wanted Garrett Wilson, but they weren't willing to cough up the necessary capital. If the Bills really were that aggressive, then I believe we would have definitely called about Garrett Wilson and be like, "What's up, guys? How much for Garrett Wilson? A second? Can we do a second, Bean? Heck no." Yeah, it's gonna have to be a third. What do you mean? They said he's a top 10 receiver at best. Is he? Yeah. So can we pay a second? No. Why?
He wouldn't do it.
We need to draft another Keon Coleman. Yeah, thank you. We already have our guy. Brandon, you're such an idiot. Shut up. I drafted Josh Allen. But I think that's all the reports I got. And when we come back, it's time for the bash 'em.
Bash 'em segment.
I'm going to bash some teams.
Make sure you guys stay tuned. Got about 15 minutes left in this episode. Once again, you're listening to Rival Talk on My Pulse Radio. We'll see you in a second. And welcome back. Thank you to everybody who stayed listening to us ramble and rant. Once again, you're listening to Rival Talk on My Pulse Radio. Isaac, the legendary Bash 'em segment is here for you, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and give it to him, Isaac. What we got?
It's time to flip some tables with us. For our first starters, we're going to start off in the state of South Carolina. Let's go to the Clemson Tigers. Why on earth do I look at my phone and I see 46-45 for the Duke Blue Devils? The Blue Devils have about the same fear factor as the chair I sit in. That's the same fear factor. And yet, everybody's going to talk about the one bad call. But nonetheless, there was clear contact. It could have been defensive holding. That would have been the right call in my opinion.
Yeah,
but
agree.
Pass interference was definitely not as an egregious call as that.
I'm going to stand up.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to stand up. What are we doing, Dabo?
Oh yeah,
What are
Dabo.
we doing?
Oh no, just something else about Dabo. He got fined $10K for criticizing the refs. He stood on business and criticized the refs, and guess what the ACC said? We'll take that $10K, buddy. No more NIL for you.
What are we doing as a football program that went to the ACC championship last year, won the ACC championship, almost beat Texas in the semifinals? We were so good last year.
Yikes.
And
This is bad.
what have we turned into, Isaac?
You turned in South Carolina.
What have we turned into, dude?
You've turned into a
this is
Gamecock.
like, bro.
Yeah, it was in reality, y'all were just a paper tiger.
I can't stand it anymore.
Can't stand it. You can't stand it. Now we're gonna stay in the state of South Carolina, but we're gonna take a trip up north to the Bay of Cheese, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Why? Why on earth do I look at my phone and then see the best team in the NFC, who everybody's talking about, is a Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl contender, Super Bowl contention for the Packers? Why do I look at the highlights and I see Jordan Love throwing so many abysmally awful passes on a number of levels?
Yeah.
The funniest thing about that game was the Romeo Doubs Guardian cap with the leather helmet. It was so amazing. I loved it. But you know what I also love? I love the fact that Rico Dowdle is one of the best running backs in the NFL.
I love Rico Dowdle.
Rico Dowdle. We're bashing the Green Bay Packers because Jordan Love looked
Abysmal.
awful. Atrocious.
Did you see Romeo Doubs in the post-game interview talking about Tucker Kraft? Saying,
that's another thing.
I hope he's in a better place, or he's in a better place now.
He's rest on the
Like-
he's rest on
like
the couch
he's
hurt.
dead. Like,
He's rest on the couch hurt. Now rest in peace hurt.
bro, what are you talking about?
And the Packers right now, they need to do a little bit of soul searching because I'm going to be honest with you. I've never liked Matt LaFleur. I never liked Matt LaFleur.
Really?
I've not been a Matt LaFleur guy.
Oh, really?
He doesn't know how to use Matthew Golden. Matthew Golden has been a bust because of scheme problems, because Romeo Doubs, with his big Guardian cap, is a better target than Matthew Golden, who is 99 speed. Are we kidding right now? The hype I heard about the Green Bay Packers this year was they got one of the best running backs in the NFL. They got a good offensive line. And guess what? They're going to be able to blow it over your head too. Well, maybe they'd be able to blow it over your head if Jordan Love wasn't throwing, interceptions and not turning into, Josh Allen under pressure, which he tries to be, but he's not. Like, Jordan Love, as soon as you get him out of the groove, it's over for the Packers. As soon as you get him out of his groove, it's over. Mm-hmm. And that's a weakness. Another weakness is Matt LaFleur's play calling. It gets pretty stale after a while. Because at the end of the day, the quarterback executes the play. Now, whether he executes it right or wrong is on the quarterback. But the play he gets is from the head coach.
Yeah.
And I've not been a Matt LaFleur guy. I don't think Matt LaFleur can get it done. I'm gonna plant the flag on the hill now. Matt LaFleur will not win a Super Bowl with this team, no matter how stacked they are. I don't care if this team goes undefeated. They're gonna lose in the playoffs because Matt LaFleur is too conservative. He lost the NFC Championship against the Bucs because he kicked a field goal when he had prime Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback. I will plant the flag on the hill right now. They will not win a Super Bowl this year. It's gonna be the Eagles in the Super Bowl again because the Packers are just that abysmal. Something else to harp on. Another team that I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to bash.
Last team of the segment, make it count.
Ooh. Who are we gonna bash? That's actually a really good question. A lot of teams did really well this year.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of teams did really well. Ooh, I got it. We're gonna bash. We're gonna go down south. Let's go down the South Beach. Let's go to Miami. And not Miami Dolphins, the Miami Hurricanes. You know what I saw the other day on my feed? That was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
What'd you see?
It was a drawing. It was a little animated thing. And it was Carson Beck in a press conference interview after the game, after throwing the 4 picks to Louisville, right? He was Sid the Sloth, and he said, "It's your fault you made Sid the Sloth the Heisman favorite." Guys, what are we doing right now? Mario Cristobal is not going to get it done. He's just like Matt LaFleur. He's Matt LaFleur in South Beach clubbing. No more, no less. Carson Beck, Carson Beck, if you hear this right now, I've tried to believe in you for so long. I was your biggest apologizer for the Georgia scenario. I said your receivers can't catch. Kirby Smart is not that good of an NFL head. Is not that good of a coach. He's just an elite recruiter. No more, no less. I'm done. I'm sorry. I have to break up.
Yeah.
You're not. SMU is an ACC menace to one team only, and that is the Clemson Tigers. Because they were a thorn in the side in that ACC championship game until the field goal happened. Many people believed they were going to win that game. Because,
I didn't.
well, you're a fan. You're going to believe in your team anyway. Like, I believe in my team that's going to, win. But I'm just bashing Miami of Florida. So much talent has come and gone through that program. And yet, I still look at my phone and I see, yup, this team is not contending. They're not. They're not real. They are a paper. They're a paper hurricane. Instead of a paper tiger, they're a paper hurricane.
Once again, Miami disappoints all of its fans year after year.
I feel bad for Miami. They have to deal with. Miami doesn't have a lot of good sports. The Heat are stale. The Dolphins are atrocious.
Yep.
Miami of Florida is bad. And on top of all of that, I don't watch baseball, and I still know the Marlins are an abysmal team. They're about to go bankrupt.
The Marlins are butt. Straight
Buns.
booty butt.
That's all I have for the Basham segment right now. If I had to talk about one other team, I would lose my mind.
Isaac's
because
gonna have an aneurysm over
I'm
here,
gonna
guys.
literally having an aneurysm because Carson Beck is just, gosh, he's so bad.
Well, Isaac,
It's been
it
an
was
honor.
fun.
It's been an honor.
Been a great episode so far. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, who listened, stayed with us till the very end. I know we can be some annoying ranters,
But it's
But-
true.
it was fun filming this episode. Thank you guys for listening. You've been listening to Rival Talk on My Pulse Radio. You can watch us on the WPPB The Pulse YouTube channel or the TuneIn app or on mypulseradio.com. Thank you guys.
Thank
See
you.
you next. Not this next Wednesday, but the week after next.
The week after next Wednesday, indeed.
See you guys later.